really sorry at the end. I was using this new kind of microphone that I have. It's called the Yeti microphone, and it was just like doubling the sound um, on the stream. So it was just like blah 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 blah, like kind of two times the amount of sound. So I don't know. Today I want to actually talk about a couple things. First, I don't know if you can see because the light isn't so wonderful here, but I'm going to get really close so you can see the beauty palette that I was using on my eyes. Maybe I'll take these off. Glasses, no glasses. Glasses, no glasses. It looks kind of creepy when you're like right up on the camera. Anyhow, so it was like a burnt orange kind of glittery thing that I wore today. And like as you can see, it's the end of the day, so all my makeup is like bleeding off of my face. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this new item of photography gear. Well, it's not really new. It's something that a lot of studio photographers use. But if you're just like a on-the-job photographer and you're taking pictures outside, then you probably use one of these as well. It's a light meter. So basically the way it works is some people, like if you want optimal sunlight and you want to be able to see, what the best settings for that area would be, use a light meter. It's called like an incident light meter. Ooh. Oh, and by the way, the song that I'm listening to right now is a Rihanna song. Like one of her normal songs. From like, I think it's called Diamonds or something like that. I love that video because it's so awesome. She's like running in the dark, and then there's one part where she's like laying back in the water. I don't care what anybody says. When she went to like, I think she was in like the United Arab Emirates, and she went to that mosque, she looked beautiful, even though she was like dressed head to toe. She just looked really beautiful. She has striking features. Anyhow, so this is what the meter looks like. If I turn it on, oh, does it not have battery? Oh yeah, it does. So you should be able to actually see the readings of my room right now, or the last readings that I took, like the ISO. Oops, it's over on this side. Oh my god, I'm still like figuring out how to use my camera on here too. Anyhow, so the ISO and the f-stop and like, the type of light that's being used and all that. So there's your light meter. So sometimes, like you see in movies like The Devil Wears Prada, when they're doing the photo shoot and they got all the models out in front, well, the photographer actually has like one of these, and they have them up to the model's face or like right in front of the model's face so they can see where the light falls, and then they can see what settings to set their camera to so they can get a perfect picture. So this one is a Iconic light meter. I think it'd probably be like 150, maybe 200 bucks. I'm sure you could probably get cheaper ones, but this one works really well. I've had it for a few years actually. And here you can actually plug it into, I don't know why I say plug it in all the time, but you can connect it to studio lights as well. So if you're in a studio, like the flash for a studio light, so you put it on this side and then you plug it into the back of one of those big studio lights. And so you can take the meter and then take the picture, and it flashes or whatever when you take the meter, so that you don't have to worry about it when you're in a studio. But normally you just like hold it up to the face like that, or let the light fall on it. Take the reading. There's like a button on the side here, as you can see, to like go through all the different types of menus and all that. Take the meter and then be like, oh my gosh, this is the setting, and then you put it in your camera. So that's a light meter. I learned how to I'm going to be making a tutorial in iMovie actually, and I just realized that a lot of people don't know how to use some of the programs in iMovie, like they don't know how to drop a clip in iMovie, and that's something that a lot of people will know how to do if they haven't used a program before. But I'm actually going to do the same kinds of things with a program that lots of photographers use, and it's called Final Cut Express. And I don't know, it looks kind of scary when you first use the program because it's like audio and then video and then audio and all that stuff. So I'm going to do like a little tutorial on how to use that. But tonight, before I pass out, I'm going to do an iMovie tutorial on how to like crop clips. Like when you drop a clip in and how you crop it or use Ken Burns or whatever, fit it in. I'm going to be doing one of those too because like there's no manual that comes with iMovie. They just want you to try things, right? Anyhow, I still have to do my workout. I don't know if you can see, I'm wearing my Fitbit and it's so late over here. I've only got like, 3,000 steps. Look at, oh, so awkward. But yeah, only got like 3,000 steps. And the other day somebody actually asked me, if they're like, how do you keep your trim figure or whatever? And I was just like, I'm walking and working out. I felt so awkward. It was funny, especially since she was like skinnier than me. It's still playing Vienna. I went to Barbados once because that's where like my mom's from, and like she actually is in carnival every few years. Like they don't call it carnival actually over there; they call it crop over. And so people are like dancing in the street, half naked. Well, not naked, but they're wearing like bathing suits and stuff, and it's all jiggling out. And you know the guys are doing it too. They're like, ooh. So it was really, really fun actually. And the music is so loud. You should see like there's 2 types of buses over there. We went on buses to get into like Bridgetown and stuff because we lived up in the hills. And there's the public transport bus, which is so late that, you know, you better plan to be out 2 hours in a row or something before your bus arrives. And then there's like the Rastafarian bus. I call it the Rastafarian bus. I don't actually know what it's called, but you get on and there's a guy standing there and you give him the money and the music is so loud. And I mean, like Canadian or American teenage 17-year-old boy loud. So the whole vehicle is vibrating as you're speeding down the hill. And I mean like speeding down the hill. And so you're holding on really tight. And it's like half the size of the regular government bus too. I think people like to take that bus just because it's like crazy and you could be in a crash at any moment. And that's another thing. The roads are different in like going into the cities. When you're in the city, the roads are like, you know, like any other city. But when you're like in the countryside or going out into a community or a neighborhood, it's one lane. So it's like traffic going, and you know, they're going so fast. It's like, holy shit. Let's not get into a head-on crash. But yeah, that's how it is, I guess. It's a different country, different way of doing things. And they also drive on the other side of the road. So that was something they had to get used to. Oh, hey, a new person is watching, but it doesn't say who you are. But hello to you anyhow. If you weren't here already, I talked about the Seaconic light meter that I am using. And I talked about how, you know, when you're at photo shoots outdoors, you can use it, and like it's an incident light meter too, so you can just like have the light drop on it and then check what your settings are and all that, and then set your camera to the settings of the light meter. Here, let's get it really close. There you go. Those are my last settings. As you can see, it was like daylight that is in a little square over there. Anyhow. And you just like, you can flip the dome back and forth. Oh my gosh, it's so weird doing things backwards. But you can flip it back and forth and you don't have to use it outside. You can like use it in a studio too and adjust it to like your flash and change the ISO and everything. I don't know if you can, I'm trying to, there you go. See, you can like raise it or lower it or whatever. Okay. Like I said, it was like a couple $100 or like 150 to $200. It wasn't really, really expensive. It could be super expensive. Something that I actually do have to get, and that has to do with photojournalism, is I have to get a new recorder, because I've had my recorder for like 5 years, and it works amazingly, but it's starting to fall apart. And so I'm still using it, but I was using the recorder on my cell phone, because there's a recorder app on my cell phone. But I don't want to be doing that, because it's really important. You have to record phone calls and stuff, and usually it has like a headphone jack thing in it, so you can connect it to your I don't know, like in the news business, they have these little connector kind of converter things that you stick onto a regular house phone. You can do it on a cell phone too, and it allows you to record or like plug in a recording device like a handheld recorder or something like that. And so, of course, you record everything because people are really two-faced. And so they'll say one thing, and it says right at the beginning of the phone call that it's being recorded. So they'll say one thing, and then they're like, "You wrote this horrible thing about me in the paper," or you said something about me on TV or whatever. And it's just like, sorry, you are recorded, so you can't lie. But yeah, that's why things are recorded, just to, cover us and cover other people, just to make sure that everybody's on the up and up. But yeah, so I need to get a new one of those, and they'll be really cool. I'm really excited to get a new one that I can use for my YouTube channel too. And I wanted to show you guys the mic that I was using yesterday too. I don't know how to figure it out just yet, but I think maybe it's because I didn't switch over the microphone that was on the computer. I think it was using like the stereo microphone instead, and so it sounded really wonky yesterday. Oh, here it is, this huge thing. Actually, it's called like a Yeti microphone. A Blue Yeti, actually, I should say. That's the microphone that I'm using to like record YouTube videos if it's not like a headset or whatever. It's really cool. You can do voiceovers and music and everything on it. It's got a whole bunch of settings. I did a YouTube video about it not too long ago. It was really amazing to see like the difference in the sound quality and all of that. So yeah, I've got to actually get ready to do that iMovie video tutorial pretty soon here. But yeah, today nothing really too crazy happened. I think in this job, like you have days where you're just, it's really slow, and then after you have a day where it's just insane. Like yesterday I was talking about how I had to go to like a fire once, and like I had to climb a fence, and the firefighter stuck his hand in my face to kind of be like, "Don't take pictures," and it's just like, I'm sorry, it's my job. What am I supposed to do? Go to my boss and say, "Somebody told me I can't do my job." But yeah, one other event was when I was in a rural area, and it was like a horrible snowstorm. My boss was like, "I need you to go out to the highway and take some pictures of the storm." And the highway was like 10 minutes outside of town. And I get onto the highway and I'm driving, and it's so slippery. And over here, there's like special tires for winter so that you don't slip on the highway. And they treat the highway too. And so I get onto the highway and I'm like, why is there nobody here? Only to find out on my way back, when I thought that it was too dangerous to go any further, that the police had closed the highway. And I was like the only person on the highway. I met them on the way back. It's like, the highway's closed. And then later on the next day, I found out that these people that I know were stranded further up at a different town for like a day and a half. And I thought, oh my God, I should have known better, but I was really young and I wanted to like please my boss. And so I put myself in that situation. Another time there was a fire and I had to be rescued not because I was in the fire was like kilometers and kilometers away, but it was so windy. And it like ripped the car door off of my vehicle because I was stupid enough to unroll my entire window. And then just like the heat and the wind and everything just blew into the car. And I opened the car door a little bit and it just sucked the car door off of the hinges. So it was still like stuck halfway on the hinge, but I had to have someone stop and put the door, like force it locked. And then I drove like 5 kilometers. Now that's really slow. I don't know what it is in miles per hour. It's probably like 10 miles per hour or something like that. Totally crazy. I'm listening to that Pour It Up song by Rihanna. Oh my gosh. If you ever see the video, it's just like, what? She's in a strip club and she's like throwing cash at the strippers. And it's like one of those strip clubs where it's just like water, you know, and they're dancing on the pole and everything's a glow in the dark. It's really nice and everything, but it's just like, ooh, this should not be on television. Anyhow, yeah. I don't know. Nothing else like totally controversial happened today. I took a bunch of pictures this whole week. I've taken pictures of sports and some like, you know, cute pictures, like headshots. I talked to somebody today and they were like, you should do some more headshots for like social media and stuff like that. But last year I was doing more headshots for models and stuff because they know what they want to do. Like, you know, if you're a model, you want a headshot like that, or you know, we want it head on, or you know the poses and all that stuff, or you want black and white and stuff like that. And there's kind of specifics of what you want. And so yeah, they were like, why don't you do that? And so I think I might start doing that, but or like doing people's Pinterest pictures, and because I have lots of people asking me to do it, and I just do it for free, which is wrong. Once when I was in college and I did things for free, I had actually a professional photographer who was like, not cursing at me, but they were like, how dare you do it for free and make this lower for our industry? And I can understand what he means now, because like when you do things for free, it devalues the professional person's work, because people think, oh, I can get away with doing it for free. Like when you're in college, people are like, oh yeah, you know, you can do my wedding for $500 or $800. And then when you're a professional photographer, you understand why, you know, professional photographers are charging $2,000 minimum. It's because you have to get a permit to shoot the pictures in the church, or you have to reserve the spot. You can't just go and put down, you know, studio equipment to take pictures. You can't just go wherever you want. You have to book areas and, you know, plan things well in advance and have someone with a backup camera. And then when the whole thing is over, after you've wasted like 8 hours of your time doing somebody's wedding when you could have done another job, then you have to go home and basically work through the night or the day after that to just process all the pictures and send them proofs, and then have them choose the ones that they like, and then you send the good pictures. That's another thing I wanted to say about proofs. Actually, I talked a little bit about it on my YouTube video a few months ago. I never really send people the good photos because people steal photos, which is really sad. But people steal photos all the time. Like one time I was taking rodeo pictures, and I don't know, I love taking rodeo pictures. I'm sorry, I do. It's really kind of catching the action. I don't know, maybe it's just because I like sports. But yeah, so someone asked me to take pictures, and I did. And they put it up on this site. It's a professional site and everything. And then they came back to me a couple days later, and they were like, we have to take the pictures down because people are just pulling them right off. And we had to watermark every single picture because people were just stealing them right off of the site. I mean, gosh, it's a horrible idea, really, that they do that. Oh, hello. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. I don't know why I'm talking to you at the same time as typing this. It's my name. And yes, I have a weird name. My last name is Massiah. And like, not like the Bible Messiah. But I don't know why people keep spelling it like the Bible Messiah. Maybe because it's just so close or whatever. But yeah, that's my name, like my real name. But one really crazy thing that happened, well, I said that I would go pretty soon here, but a crazy thing that happened is, so my name is really rare. You don't see a lot of people in the world with the same last name. It's usually everybody that's related to me. So a few years ago, there was this scam that was going on called the Great Book of Messiahs, and I was like, yeah, right. I'm sure there's a Great Book of Johnsons, too. But, yeah, so I looked at it, and at first I was all, like, happy about it, and after I was like, yeah, this is a pretty big scam. Then one of my cousins made a YouTube, actually, no, it was, like, on Facebook, a Facebook page for our family. And so, yeah, like I said, I know everybody in my family with that name. Everybody, because it's like our immediate family. We all come from the same place, really. And all of a sudden, this lady shows up in the United States. I'm in Canada. And she showed up in the United States. And she has my exact name, which is pretty rare. Like, down to middle name and everything. I was like, okay. So actually, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, you're trying to steal my identity. So I contacted her, and I basically, like, I didn't shame her or anything like that, but eventually, me contacting her every day, a couple times every day, got her to change her name back to her original name. It was very annoying for me because it's like in my profession, your name is like, it matters, right? You can't just have somebody taking your name. And I'm sure that I would have known that she was in my family. I asked around, and I would have known. And she doesn't look like me either. So I would have known if, we had the same name. My sister and one of my cousins have similar names, like almost exactly the same name. One has a hyphenated last name, so, but we know each other. We all know each other, so I can understand that. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, after like 20-something years, you're like, oh, this is this person with the same name as you. No. You made up your name because you thought it was like ethnic or neat or whatever. I don't even think our real name was Massiah. I think it was like Massiah, like, without the at the end. But I'm not really sure about everything. I have to look on the site. We do a lot of research about our name. And then after you get people like, the Massiah. When you say your name, it's like, okay, yeah. But yeah, so another thing I did actually was I was like, Googling. Everybody Googles themselves. So I Googled myself and I just made sure that I had way more social media contacts than she did, just to kind of like, phase her out. I know that's really bad too, but it worked. She changed her name back to her original name. When people do that, you have to really watch out because they are trying to steal your identity. Because who knows, they might try to pretend that they're you. And nobody really checks that over here. They're not going to think, oh my gosh, maybe you're not her. You look the same, you have the same race. They probably think you're the same person. I joined this language group actually last week, so I'm kind of excited to see it on Thursday. It happens on Thursdays, and like I'm in Canada, and my first name is Monique, so I speak French too, and I speak Japanese as well. The whole reason why I like Nikon cameras, because I went to high school in Japan. But so yeah, it was really kind of fun to, I don't know, it was creepy though next day, because next day my brain almost felt like scrambled because I had been watching television and everything in a different language, and it was like several hours of us speaking in this different language to people from all over the place with different accents and stuff. So it was really kind of weird, but other than that, it was fun. I'm staring at my eye. Oh my god. All the makeup is like slowly, maybe it's because I have a light here, like a studio light there. It's all just kind of okay, I have to actually go to sleep soon. It's been very nice speaking with all of you today. Anyhow, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's just a channel about like photography tips and like how to do visual effects. Like one of the videos that I did recently was, like the Marvel comic book opening for movies where it's like flipping through comic books and it turns red and then you have the entry music and everything. So I did that actually to show you how to do that, like with just like a flip through comic book, and how to do freeze frames in iMovie, because that's really cool. You can do your own credits and stuff for movies or whatever. But another thing that I'm going to be showing people how to do is to change their branding icon. So on YouTube, at like the bottom right-hand corner of your videos, you can put like a YouTube button, like a subscribe button. So I'm going to show you guys how to make your own subscribe button. It doesn't have to be the YouTube button. Basically what I did for mine is I used Cartoonify. It's a website, just Google Cartoonify, and you can make an avatar of yourself, like a fun cartoon of yourself. And then you just have to make sure that the background is like a PNG picture, not a JPEG. In a JPEG, the background's going to be a solid color. And in a PNG, it's going to be like a translucent color, or no, color, translucent background. You're not going to be able to see that it's, what's the word? Not opaque, but like, you'll see the icon and it'll be on an invisible background, if that makes any sense. And so what you do is you save that on Cartoonify, save it as a PNG, and then when you go into YouTube, you just go under like your settings for your channel, and then I think it's called branding, and you go under there and you change it from the YouTube icon into the picture, and so you'll have like a little bobblehead of yourself at the bottom of the screen. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow too. So I have to actually sleep because over here it's like 10:30 at night, and I have to go review a play tomorrow, and I have to be awake and not dead to the world. So it's been very nice to see you. Bye.